Hello and greetings this morning. Um, so I have a story time, and this story time is about my friendship with someone who was an associate, who was my neighbor in some apartments. The friendship was just never meant to be. I haven't really decided what I'm going to name this story time, but I remember everything as if it were yesterday. Because me and this lady lived in the same apartment complex. I have done a story time about her once before, like 2 years ago, about her telling me her man problems and just acting like, she just had to have a man in her life, and she was just crazy. Um, okay, so my daughter went was in the same elementary was was in the same elementary school and the same elementary class with her daughter. And okay, we both stayed in these projects on the north side of Houston in Acres Homes, the north side of Houston. So we both stayed in the same apartment complex. How me and this lady became friends, her daughter and my daughter were best of friends. Now, there were times when she was nice to me. There were times when I used to come and visit her. At this time, when I did used to come and visit her, she would she was very nice to me. Okay, at this particular time when me and her were friends, and I used to come and visit her, this was when I was in that toxic relationship with my ex of 5 years, and he was living with me. And also, when I would come and visit her, I just needed someone to talk to because I didn't have any friends over there in those apartment complex, and I needed a friend. She would see me because me and her, both of our daughters rode the same school bus. So she would have let me sit in the car with her if it was raining outside or something. Was both of our daughters would get off the same school bus. Cause me and her both had daughters who were friends, and this was elementary school. So, me and this lady became friends, and I'm gonna say she would tell me her business on the regular. She told me, and I've mentioned this story time once before, how she was in a relationship with this dude who was still kind of involved with his ex, staying with his ex, but this man would come and see her and be laid up with her in her house. Then she would tell me this is also around the time when she told me, because I made a story time about this also. how she told me that one morning after she dropped her kids off at school, and he had spent the night at her house, but he sent her to the store to get breakfast food with her money and told her, don't get no cheap orange juice. I want some expensive orange juice. And he wanted eggs, bacon, pan sausage, grits, toast, and all that. And she's so dumb at the time. Like, this lady just really irritated me, but I would just listen to her when she would be talking to me about this man. But she said she came back from the store after she bought this expensive Minute Maid orange juice, the grits, eggs, bacon, biscuits, bread to make toast, pan sausage, and all that. And then she said after she bought all that, she didn't have nothing left but $10 to her name. To her name. And she said she told him once she got back with all those groceries, you got me broke. You had me buying all this that you want for breakfast, but I just said to myself, that's what you get, because why you gonna sit up there and listen to him just because he was sexing you good? You did it. You went to the store and you bought the expensive orange juice and you bought all this breakfast food and you cooked it for him. So that's what you get. But anyway, that's what I said in my mind about her. But when she was telling me about it, I just was listening to her and I was just giggling on the inside, because I'm like, okay, you telling me this because then she was telling me how frustrated she is that this same man introduced her to another female, and she said that her feelings was hurt because it was disrespectful, which that is kind of disrespectful, the way she said it happened in a club. Then another time, because of the fact that she was going through things with him, and she was unhappy because she was going through things with him, she tells me, one day, okay, I was working at this daycare that I said that mistreated my daughter and mistreated me, but I worked there for about 3 years. So, one morning, I'm just at the bus stop waiting on the bus, and it starts to rain. It was light rain, but I still kind of got soaked. I see her driving. She waves at me. She goes in the store and get her some beer and a pack of cigarettes because she smoked all the time. And she comes out the store and then she drives headed towards me, and she's like, you on your way to work? And I'm like, yeah. And I did ask her to drop me off at work. Now, other times when I would ask her to drop me off, I did have gas money to pay her, but I didn't have any gas money to pay her on this particular day because I hadn't got paid yet and I was broke. So I just didn't think that it would be a big deal. And I asked her, could she please drop me off at work, because I just didn't want to stand there waiting on the bus and getting soaked in the rain. She gonna tell me, let me tell you something. I know we friends and all, but I'm not fixing to drop you off if you don't have no gas money to pay me. I'm not fixing to let nobody use me like that. I know we friends, but I can't let you use me like that. I said, well, I'm not trying to use you. I just figured that since we are friends that I would ask you because I know that you see me standing out here with this umbrella waiting on the bus, but if you telling me this that you can't drop me off, it's fine. It's fine. And then she's like, okay, as long as you know that I can't let nobody use me. I said again, I'm not trying to use you. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later. So I just stood there. She drives off, grinning to herself. She drives off, and she goes back inside the apartment complex, the apartment. My bus comes, and I get on the bus, and that whole day I'm upset at work because of her. Let me. You see how things work in mysterious ways. The next week, Monday came, and I had just dropped my daughter off at school. Walked my daughter to school because she had a car, but I was fixing to stand at the bus stop. Tell me why she walking her 3 kids to school, no car, and it's freezing outside, and she's looking at me and she's like, could you see if you could please give me see if your job have an opening for me to work there? I need a second job. And I said to myself, I'll see what I can do. Now, mind you, because I do hold grudges, I was still mad at her because of the way that she had talked to me that last week. But now she's walking. She has no car. She told me her car was in the shop. An alternator on it or something needed fixing. And I said to myself, you see, you was talking that shit to me while I was standing in the rain. Now look at you. You have to walk all 3 of your kids to school. And it's karma for your ass. Yeah, that's how I feel and how I still feel because I didn't do anything to her for her to talk to me that way. Telling me that I'm trying to use her and she's not fixing to let somebody use her or whatever. Then another time that I felt disrespected by her. I had her to take me to the grocery store at the time, Jovi's, this popular grocery store that's in Houston, Texas. That was right behind the apartment complex. But I also had her to help me bring my groceries in. And some toys was on because I had an upstairs in my apartment at the time. Some toys, a bunch of toys my daughter had left on the bottom steps. And she assumed that my house was dirty. So as she's helping me bring the groceries, I told her she can put the groceries down on the steps and I'll pack them upstairs. And she's gonna look at me and say to me, you know, sometimes a friend, like me and you are friends, but sometimes a friend will have to tell another friend it doesn't take much to keep a house clean. And I said to her, and sometimes a friend, just like you and I are friends, just like me, I will tell you to mind your business. I said, just because you see all these toys on the floor, you can't assume that my house is dirty because it's not the case. Oh, I wasn't talking about you. I'm just saying, I'm like, okay, thank you for taking me to the store. I'll call and talk to you later. And I grabbed my daughter and put her in the house. Then another time, she disrespected me. Another time, this woman disrespected me. I asked her to drop me off at work, and I was finna give her $20 worth of gas money. And I told her what specific time to come around to where I live at because we stayed in the same apartment complex. I told her what time to be there, but she came early. And then I raised my window up, and she saw me looking at her out the window. And she had all three of her kids in the car. And she yelled. First she had her son to get out and ring my doorbell. But I had came to the door late. Then when I raised up the window and I'm like, you here early? She's like, come on here now because I got things to do. Is you ready? I'm like, that's all right. That's all right. I said I find somebody else to take me to work because I told you at a specific time, but I'm like, thank you anyway, and she just drove off. This ain't how you talk to people. Those three incidents and a couple of more things that this female who I tried to have a friendship with did, it just made me say to myself, I don't think I can rock with her. I don't think I can be friends with somebody who talk crazy to me and stuff. And then she got man problems and she was halfway taking that out on me too. That shit was crazy. But, I don't miss no friendship with her at all. Before I moved, I told her that I was moving. I was moving out of those projects. And she gonna tell me, you taking your daughter away from my baby. And she started laughing. I said, I'm not taking my daughter away from your baby, nothing. At the end of the day, a blessing has come. Because I got a lump sum of money and it was time for me to move. I said, at the end of the day, when it's time to go, it's time to go. I said, I would be happy for you if you were the one moving. I expect you to be happy for me too. But this is the end of the story time about, I think I'm going to name it the friendship that never was. Because I could not remain friends with her for no long time because I just didn't like her attitude. The attitude was kind of nasty. But until I post my next video, until then, y'all stay blessed.